Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Chalkboard session. My name is Justin Paletti, and I am super excited for all of you that are taking time out of your busy life, your busy schedule, to participate in this live webinar. And I have a very special guest on here with me tonight, a really great friend who I got to connect with at the GoPro event last year in Las Vegas. A good friend of mine, Mr. Melton, introduced me to a phenomenal mentor, phenomenal leader, and a phenomenal millionaire maker. Mr. Robert Hollis is joining with me here this evening on this, live chalkboard session. And I wanted to put this together that, we're going to go back and forth and we're going to, ask each other some questions. But the main thing I want, for all of you to really focus on, all right, is Mr. Robert Hollis, how he's earned his first $1 million in this industry. And not only that, he's helped over 40 people earn at least $1 million in this industry. And I just want to, share with you a little background. And, from what I know of Mr. Hollis, I don't want to, ruin his story, but Robert is an author, he's a speaker, he's a personal coach and mentors thousands and thousands of people. He might even be your mentor coach if you're watching this live right now, and you have an unfair advantage. I can tell you that. He's an absolute phenomenal leader. He also wrote a book, How Is That Working? It's a roadmap, from a rat race to freedom. This book is the rags to riches story that talks about his amazing comeback after a tragic car accident and his humble start in life. And Robert is called the millionaire's mentor. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a millionaire's mentor with a documented 45 millionaires who credit him as their business mentor as they earn over 46 million in commissions in an effort to create more millionaires and success stories worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, I am super excited to have on a good friend of mine, one of the world's #1 success coaches, online and success mentors, and industry legends, Mr. Robert Hollis. Robert, are you out there, buddy?
I sure am, Justin. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Well, thank you so much for that incredible introduction. I feel like a waffle that just got syrup poured all over it. That was pretty cool. So really, I love how you reach out to other leaders to be a leader that wants to help your team to be the best. And anything that I can do for you, brother, I'm here for you.
Awesome, Robert. Well, thank you for your time, and thanks for hopping on here. And I know you're a very busy guy, and I know you do set things aside for individuals, for people in the industry, not just us in the industry. You work with every single person that asks you for mentorship help, and that's what leaders all about. And just by me watching you after we met last year at the GoPro event, I'm like, man, I want to follow Robert, because we were always taught, we have to do what others do to receive what others, are their lifestyle, do what others do so we can have what others have. And, just by, meeting you and talking with you and just connecting with you back and forth on Facebook, you're a very humble person, and, you're out there to help everybody. Congratulations on all your success and what you're doing. We all on this webinar really look up to you because you're one of, only a few, legends in this industry that really came out, going from an auto mechanic, to a multi-millionaire in this industry is, it's a life-changing story. And we're all willing to, have you maybe share how you started, what really made you, from an auto mechanic, wrenching on cars, changing oils, putting new windshield wiper blades on, to a successful, self-made multi-millionaire. Where did you finally realize that, how did you know you could go out and do this? Actually, I should ask you, how did you know you can go out there and you had those people skills to go out there and be like, you know what, I can do this? When did you realize that you said, you know what, I can go out there and I'm going to do this?
Well, thank you very much, Justin. And I can tell everyone that's watching this that I know you might not believe this, but I can tell you that I know for a fact that you can do this. There's no doubt in my mind that anyone that ever watches this webinar live or hears it on audio or watches it recorded, you can do this. And the reason that I know that you can do this is the skills that it takes to be a successful entrepreneur are no different than learning to drive a car or learning to be a parent. You know, I look at being a parent as something that's way more difficult than you know, being a professional entrepreneur. But you got to be willing to work on the skills that it takes to do that. So at the beginning, you know, when you're a parent, you don't have a clue, you know, how to do a diaper. You don't know a clue how to do a lot of things, but you hang around other people that are successful parents and you pick it up. And now you can see people that, you know, actually can change a diaper with one hand. You know, it's like driving a car, you know, with the, you know, eating a donut and having a cup of coffee and steering with your knee. It's one of those things where you got to go through the stages. They're not comfortable. They're not fun because, you know, we're comfortable at doing our job, you know. So I didn't know that I possessed any of these skills, Justin. I didn't. And I tell people I had a little different path. I was out there just being a mechanic, and everyone that I grew up around was a blue collar worker. There are plumbers, there are electricians, there are carpenters. And so there really wasn't no need in the people that I grew up around, which is another important point and key. You become who you hang around. Is no one was interested in getting any, I would say, extra years of education. You wanted to go directly into an apprenticeship to learn from someone that already was a blue collar worker, including the oil field. And so that's where my plans were. So I do remember questioning, though, through my life that, you know, at the age of 23, 24, 25, wow, is this it? You know what I mean? So this is pretty much my locked in. I'm a mechanic. I'm married. I got kids. And so, you know, this is what I'm going to do for the next 40 years. And you know, in a small city, that's what your thoughts are. And I tell everybody still to this date that I think the best thing that happened to me, Justin, which I know makes my story very unique from other people, is that when I got hurt and put on workman's comp, they sort of messed up. It was a knee injury. I couldn't get out of the way from a van that was falling off a hoist, so I actually tried to stop it. And so it shows how smart I am. And when it hyperextended my knee and wiped out my whole knee, they didn't get it right the first time. So I ended up being on like rehab and rebuilding my knee over a 9-month period. Well, now making $900 a month, I've lost everything. I mean, there wasn't anything that I had left. No one would borrow me any money. I was at the end of my rope. And I tell people that when you get involved in anything, there's usually only two things that you're looking for. It's through inspiration. You know, so there's a lot of kids out there right now inspired by the girls winning the World Cup. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, you know, you're inspired because somebody else did it. And you said, if they did, I can. The other thing that I came to was desperation. So all of a sudden, I got doctors telling me I can't be a mechanic anymore, and I need to find something else to do. And I ask everyone that watches this video, you really want to get in a scared place is when you realize that, wow, I got to do something other than what I've already know what to do. That's crazy. And so when I met my mentor, which was a gentleman named Bill Gould, I've had 2 billionaire mentors. The other one was Roger Penske when I worked as an auto mechanic. And he taught me a lot of cool things that I learned before I got involved in marketing. But when I met Bill, my goal, which is not like a lot of people's goal, my goal was just to cover my expenses until I could go back and be a crew chief. See, so most people, when they get involved in marketing, I looked at Bill and I seen he was making 62 grand a month. He showed me success stories of other people that he got to make over 10 grand a month. I seen their checks. I seen pictures of them and their cars and everything. I just wanted to do the things that I needed to do to make money fast so I wouldn't lose my car, wouldn't get kicked out of my apartment, because I had no desire to be a speaker on stage. I didn't want to do anything that these people were doing, which I think was the biggest gift I could have had. Because, Justin, I only wanted to know what I needed to do to make money.
Right.
I didn't want to be the deal. So when my mentor said, Robert, get 2,000 people to watch this video, say as little as possible to as many people as you can, as fast as you can. And here's what you say, which I now call the $1 million question. You know, I was able to get 72 people to watch that video in my first 30 days. And my first check was over 10 grand. I made over 258,000 my first year, 520 my second, 785 my third. So I made over $1 million before I was 30, and I didn't want to do this.
Wow, that's incredible. That's just mind-boggling, Robert. Because when you were talking about how you were a blue-collar worker, it kind of hits myself and relates to myself and so many other viewers that are out there watching this. That there's a lot of people sitting there watching this video, be like, they might have took a look at an opportunity, or one of their friends might have shared with them a DVD or had them watch a video, but they're thinking in the back of their mind, man, I really can't do this. I don't think this is for me, because they have that 97% mindset, but I was like yourself, I was a pipe layer for a water and sewer company, for a construction company. And I took a look at an opportunity, and what I did, Robert, when I first got started in this industry, I followed a simple, duplicatable system. And we can agree. And I know, we were talking earlier about how powerful a system is in place. My mentor told me, says, hey, listen, make a list, get as many people as you can in front of the presentation. And I did. I had I called 120 people. I talked to about 87 of them, and 83 of them said they were going to come to my home event. Out of those 83, 43 showed up, because the hard fact is only 50% will show. And the reason I started off and having great success in this industry is because I was coachable. I was coachable to a duplicatable system, and probably that goes to show, that's just going to show how simple this system, or a simple system, can really go out there and create the results and success that you're looking for. Because you're a great prime example, and that's why you reach out to a lot of us and hit home with us, because you come from a blue collar worker to a successful entrepreneur. And now, Robert, can you just share, how you when you said you got 72 people in front of the presentation, what did you do after those, newest affiliates that were in your company signed up? Like, what did you tell them to do? The exact same thing, and you just kept it simple and duplicatable? I just want others to know that are watching this, that if you have a system in place with your opportunity, not to reinvent the wheel, because if there's a proven system in place, you want to stick to that, right? You don't want to go out there and try to reinvent the wheel and try to do other things that, you don't know that works, but the things that are working are in place, but they don't want to take advantage of it. So, maybe touch base on how you really exploded, in the beginning stages. What did you do to keep it simple? What did you teach the people that came on board to stay plugged in and keep everything duplicatable?
Well, I think that the easiest thing for me is, remember, I didn't want to be the deal. So for 18 months, my first 18 months in marketing, I just wanted to edify and promote somebody else that knew the answers. And I just thought that was so awesome. In fact, I know that I took the humbling thing to a different level. So if someone asks me, Justin, well, listen, can you tell me a little bit about this? I go, listen, I'm an auto mechanic on workman's comp. If you got anything wrong with your car, I might be able to help you there. And I would always say these words: I'm not even making close to the kind of money to be an expert. I used to say that all the time. I'm not even making close to the kind of money that would be considered an expert. So if you want to learn how to do this, you got to learn from Justin. See, and so when I said that, and I was humble enough to say that to the brand new person, it was amazing how they would no longer ask me any questions. And I wanted to put the line in there with income, because this is what people want to know. How long have you been involved, and how much are you making? Well, if you said, listen, I just got started with Justin, this guy's an incredible family man. He's showing me exactly how to never work for anybody again. But I need to tell you, I'm not an expert. I'm not even making close to the kind of income to be able to answer your questions. When I said that, they would go, oh, okay. So I say, listen, not to waste Justin's time, I'd like to have you watch this quick little video. And once you watch this, you're going to feel good about referring me to people that need to make extra money. If you have some questions, then I'll set up a time to do a hangout with Justin. Mm-hmm. And so,
basically, you were just getting yourself out of the way and passing it on to the expert who knew all the information, because basically you were kind of telling them, hey, listen, I really don't know all the details, but what I do know is I need you to talk to Justin, because he has all the information, and he'll be able to answer all your questions. I don't want to mislead you. So you just basically got yourself out of the way and just passed it on to your upline, to a a higher leader in that company. And that's you don't want to. We're always taught, Robert, that you don't want to we're just here to invite, not to present, and a lot of people out there try to just throw up on people and explain, the opportunity.
The other thing that I did too is I would always refresh their minds, Justin, when you asked, what did I did with the people that got involved with me, is I would constantly refresh their mind of what I said. Now, Justin, do you remember the first time we met? Oh yeah, we met downtown LA. So do you remember that I walked up to you and introduced myself and said, do you work around here? And you said, yeah, the First Interstate building. And then I said, well, listen, could you do me a huge personal favor? Who do you know that needs to make extra money? Yeah, I do remember you asking that. And then you said, well, what is this? I said, why, are you interested? Well, it depends on what it is. Well, let me get your name and your number and a good time to call you back, so we can set up a time for you to see the presentation. Well, at that time, Justin, I was doing a VHS tape. And so
wow.
And so, we're talking 27 years ago. Now,
right.
When I can do with a smartphone, I can say, well, listen, can I get your phone number? Can I text you over to link to look at? And it was always me doing this third party thing, because you asked where I developed the personality skills and stuff at the beginning. My goal was to figure out how not to. Right. Isn't that interesting? Most people want to figure out how to be the deal. My goal was, because I come from an automotive engineering background, my goal was all about results. Everything that I did with Roger Penske, my first billionaire mentor, was to get the car to go around the track as fast and consistently as possible. Everything was about results. So if my mentor said, get people in front of an effective presentation, my first goal was to get it recorded. And then once I got his opportunity recorded, then I needed to get people in front of it.
Right.
And I even do this funny thing in my mentorship, and when I do live seminars where I show people the Snuggie commercial. And I just throw it up there, and it's the funny Snuggie commercial. And my son's Kyle, he's funny. He said, Dad, isn't that a house coat that you put on backwards? And I said, yeah. So I show this giant commercial in front of hundreds of people, Justin. And then I get done and I said, now watch. How many people in the room have a Snuggie? And maybe 2 people out of 300-400 will have a Snuggie. And then I said, great, now watch this. Now that you guys have seen the video, the 30-second clip that I've just seen, how many people are going to buy one now? And it's usually like 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. And I said, let me explain to you why I showed you that video. Is you think that you understand marketing. You do not. And do me a favor, stop pretending that you do. Because that stupid little commercial made $80 million in 6 months. And look at all the people in the room. If we were marketing the Snuggie today, here's the 2 things that you would say that is stupid. Stupid. A, I wouldn't buy one. And 2, I don't know anyone that will buy one. Those are 2 stupid sayings.
Yeah.
So the number one objection we got to help people with, Justin, is to get them to believe that this is for real and that they can do this. If they believed that they could do this, they would be doing it, and they would get results, and the rest would be crazy. So that was the thing that you did.
Absolutely. I mean, that's, ladies and gentlemen who's watching this, I hope you're taking good notes. These are 100% straight up golden nuggets from Mr. Hollis. And, Robert, I wanted to just touch base on as well. I have a bunch of questions here. I did a live Periscope, a couple times today, asking, my followers, if they could ask a millionaire a question, what would it be? So I'm going to go through that a little later, but I want to get to the facts here, not facts, but the questions I have, and some of, many other industry leaders have as well. During your journey, on your success, with MLM, how many times did you want to quit? And when you wanted to quit, what did you do to, stay on track and get back on track? And, because, we all of us, we create a story, we're going to hit some roadblocks. And the only way I tell everyone, the only way you fail in this industry, Robert, is if you quit. You know what I mean? So we're going to have some ups and downs. We're going to ride that roller coaster, whether you earn, $100 million in the industry or you just got started, everyone's going to hit those roadblocks from their beginning stages all the way, even maybe now, Robert, you might hit, I don't know about now, but, people still get, hit those roadblocks. But what did you do on your journey, to keep you motivated, to keep you going, and to bring you back up and get back on track?
What a great question, Justin. Man, that is awesome. Well, first of all, I know that people will be shocked, but I've been with 15 different companies. So the one thing that I have in common with almost every top network marketer that's made over $1 million plus a year, I've been blessed, like you said, to make over 46 million in commissions. And every person that I know has been in more than one company. Now, I'm not saying that if you locked into a company right now, you should move. I'm just saying that the skills that it takes to make $100 a month are different skills that it takes to make 1,000, and to make 1,000 to 10,000, and so on and so forth. So you're constantly challenged. You're always challenged with learning new skills, especially when you're building a group. And the thing that I say that really makes me a number of times. So your question was, how many times did I think about quitting? Oh my, I can't count them. Over 27 years, I cannot count the number of times that I've said I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I've had it. And here's where it normally comes down to. I tell people all the time that the thing that I love most about marketing is people. They're the best people on the planet are in marketing because it forces you to network. It forces you to go out there and learn skills. So marketing is a personal development program with a compensation plan. Now, what is the thing that I dislike or hate the worst in marketing? People. It's this weird thing that the thing that makes us make so much money, the thing that gives us fun, the thing that gives us free time. And for those of you that are on a spiritual level, there's this thing out there, my sons and I, all black belts in martial art. For every opposite, there's an equal opposite. There's a yin and a yang. And so the thing that makes this business so fun, so rewarding, I've been in audiences where the top 10 people on stage are all the people I trained. And they're giving me accolades and they're all getting trophies and I'm crying and I'm on the top of the heap, man. I see what my sons have done. Robert Hollis Jr. on stage getting an award for being one of the top reps while there's a picture of his brand new son, Ryder, behind him, and I'm a new grandpa. So there's things that I've seen where I hit levels of success and joy and happiness that I didn't even think existed. But on the other hand, you put a lot of effort and a lot of focus into somebody and they lose their way or they don't want to do it or they give up and they quit. Or someone else gets them excited and they go to another company and it just rips your heart out. I remember, my mentor telling me this and I said, nah, that's not true. And he goes, Robert, I promise you the people that you're going to help out the most, the people that you give the most to are going to be people that are no longer going to be with you in the future. And you're like, what? Come on. And when that happens, it's a shock. It's a shock to your system. And it's one of those things like every mentor has to go through where the student now has to go on their own hero's journey. And,
absolutely.
And 3 of the companies that you know of was this constant thing that a person, becomes a rep in the company. They work hard on their personal development skills. They become the #1 rep. They then become a master. And then they have a fallout with the owners. So what's the next step for a master distributor or a CEO of a large organization to do? Pretty much start their own company. So 3 times I've been making, over $2 million a year. And the person that I helped build decided to leave and start their own company. Wow. And it's like, now you got to start all over again. It's like, you got to be kidding me. And guess what? Once in the answer to your question to move on here is once I settled down, once I got rid of the anger and the hurt, once I sort of, mellowed out and got back focused on what I loved most, which is helping people succeed, then I fell back into the thing of going, what am I going to do? Am I going to go get a job? Seriously? It's like, what? It's like, this is stupid, So, then you get back into it. You reset your goals and your dreams. You start looking for another home, and then you go back to work again. So there it is.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's phenomenal. I mean, when just hearing that, and it's the truth, when people are going to leave your company, people are going to leave your team, whether they might be your number one guy right now, and you're helping them succeed, you're helping them with everything possible, and next thing you know, they pick up and leave. You're like, are you kidding me? All what I did for him, now I got to go out and find another leader. It's going to happen to all of us, and it's just the roadblocks that happens, and it's just keeps creating this story, because when you do get to that level, like when we all get to your level, Mr. Hollis, we're going to be able to come back and do these trainings and webinars and interviews and share our stories with the next generation coming up through that's getting started. And that's what makes this industry so powerful, to let you know that, hey, if you're not, I tell people this, Robert, that you have to have fun with this. You cannot let it stress you out. You can't let it get you down in the dumps where you're arguing with the family and the kids and stuff like that. You have to have fun with this, because like Jim Rohn says, you work full-time at your job and part-time on your fortune until you can work full-time on your fortune. So you have to have fun with it. You have to just keep plugging away. But another question I had here as well is, through your success after the video, or the not the DVDs, but the VHS opportunity videos, as you were moving along and you had that momentum going, as you were helping a handful of individuals create that success that you knew they could do, and by them plugging into your system that you were working with, what tools can you really touch base on that really took your team and those 45 millionaires that you created and helped get to the levels that they are at? What do you think was the most top 3 tools that those 45 millionaires that you helped create success with, what do you think was the most powerful tool that helped them get to where they are today?
Well, the one thing that you want to do in any system is you want to create the things that that people are asking for first. My mentor shared with me 3 psychological things that every person will go through, and they go through fast. The first thing, when you talk to them, they want to go, wow, this makes sense. You got to get them to a place where they go, wow, this idea of marketing is it makes sense. The second thing where people really mess up is it easy? You got a lot of people put so much facts into a presentations, and it's like compensation facts, product facts, all this stuff that they do, and a person's going, I got to remember all this. See, and confused people do nothing. Then the third step, and the most important step, is a person's got to go, you know what, I can do this. So when my mentor, Justin, that was a virtual mentor when I first got started, put everything that he had on 4 videotapes. So there was a videotape that was Opportunity of a Lifetime. It was about an hour. And then he had the Steps of Success, which was about 30 minutes. What steps you need to do to get going. And then he had a Fast Start video that was about an hour, and then one that was called Explosive Growth. And it was, you want to make sure that you find the videos that handle everyone's objections right out of the gate. So now what you can do is just point, guide, and direct people to the answers. So I tell people what I started doing is what my mentor taught me. And my big splash into really figuring this out is I used to have videos online before there was Google Video and before there was YouTube. And so when YouTube first came out, Justin, you only could put 10-minute videos up. Well, then if I was going to do an hour presentation, then those needed to be broke into 6 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I figured it out. So it was like, okay, so if I title all 6 parts or 7 parts of a 7-step effective presentation, then I can teach people just to point, guide, and direct to a YouTube video. Well, now we got sophisticated servers and everything else. So I tell people, hey, listen, this is how simple the business is. Have you ever watched a video online that made you cry, inspired you, or made you laugh, and it hit you on such a nerve that you felt like you needed to share it with others. Yeah. Okay. You're trained. So now it's the goal now of the leader, Justin, to make sure that all those videos exist. So
Yes.
everyone, whether it's I don't have enough time, or I'm too busy, or I'm not a salesperson, whatever objection that you got that's coming to you needs to be done in a short video where people can point, guide, and direct. And that's when I figured it out. And I mean, at one time, we were putting over 15,000 people into our company a month, over 500 people a day. And, the bandwidth was just outrageous, which I still find fun today. But you and I know that people have been fighting new school versus old school forever. But, people are now paying attention to what I'm doing and what other people are doing, because they're going like, wow, the people that said it couldn't be done are watching people like us doing it, which is pretty funny.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So, just going back to that, I know how you were saying you'd put, sometimes I tell myself I'm a professional pointer or a professional sorter because, when people come on board, just say, hey, listen, watch this quick start training, make a list, because we all want to get in everyone's warm market to see who do they know, tap rooting. Okay. So let me ask you one question to kind of stick with the topic that we're on. What do you think? There's so many leaders watching this right now, including myself, asking you this question because I always love the knowledge and nuggets that you share. I hear so many other industry leaders talking about how to launch your newest affiliate off on the right track. If you can name 5 things, what the most 5 important things, or even 3 things for a leader to do to that newest person that they sign up in their business, what do you think is the most powerful things that newest person needs to understand, and what the leader has to provide that individual?
Again, a great question. The number one thing is it's so important that the person understands the system. If you don't get the person to fall into that last thing that we talked about, Justin, where they're looking at you and they're going, you know what? I can do this. Are you telling me that's all you do? Which goes all the way back to what you asked me at the beginning, is when I would sit down with a person and get them in, I would always say to them, remember what I did to you? And they would go, oh yeah, you asked me a question, then you set up a time, and then you showed me the video, and then you asked me what I liked most about the video, and then you showed me another video. And then you got me started. And I said, get in where you fit in. So where people really mess up is that number one thing is you got to get the person to believe that they can do this.
Right.
That they can do it. Another thing that I see sort of a lost art out there looking at all the companies is really sitting down and working out a game plan with somebody. Really sitting down in a second and going, Justin, now listen, you're going to be taking some time to do this. You're going to be putting a little bit of money in to do this, so tell me, why are you doing this? What do you want to do? And even help the person a little bit. Well, if we could get you an extra $300, what would you pay off your your card with the most amount on it? Would you upgrade your car? You want to get them locked into what's in it for them, and really sit down and work out a game plan. I just recently listened to one of the top people, Larry Thompson. He was the mentor under Jim Rohn that was my mentor's mentor. What I mean? So I always talk about the lineage. So it went from me to Bill Gould to Larry Thompson, Larry Huff, to Jim Rohn, to Earl Scholl. And so, so when I heard Larry Thompson was saying this, and I just went, wow, I always listen to the old stuff over and over again. And he was going, if you can't get a person to visualize that this is worth it for them, they're not going to do the things that they need to do. But if I said, if you did A, B, C, so 1, could you pique interest? Yeah. Could you get people in front of the videos? Yes, I can. You point, guide, and direct. Once they have questions, could you set up a time with me to get on a hangout with them? I don't know how to do a hangout. Let's get that taken care of. Now, So game plans, man, showing someone a game plan. So Larry was saying that he remembers that the guy said, listen, To get to the top position of ABC company, whatever that is, it took 5 people. So now if you're drawing the circles out, and I go, Justin, our first goal is to get you to this first pin position. It takes 5 or 6 or whatever it is, 3. And it's really get them to understand that if they got that block taken care of, then all they need to do is with you, not them, teach people how to hit that block, whether it's a star. So you become star. We help 3 people, 5 people become stars. Now you become a poopah. And then we, and walk them through a game plan. I don't know why people don't do that. I've been on a lot of presentations, and people are not showing people a game plan. So fourth is I believe that people always are holding off on their chicken list because the art that I was taught is not being taught anymore. I was told that, Robert, listen, you're going to put a list of people together that you're going to peek, ask who they know, blah, 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 blah. But if you're launching your company, who is the top 5 people? I'm talking about people that are self-motivated, that have nice vehicles, that are always wearing nice cars. They might already be making 50, 60,000. And I want to find out a little bit about those superstars. You give me what you know about them, and then let's share a way to expose this to them. So, everybody just wants to bring somebody in and then let them go, and so I'm going like, well, the first thing they're going to do is they're not going to hit their peers. They're going to hit people that are below their level. Then they're going to hit their peers, and they're never going to hit their chicken list. If I can get to their chicken list first, I can get a check in someone's pocket so fast. And then that check will cause what is called momentum. People don't know how to create momentum anymore. And then the last one is the importance of paying attention and plugging in. You don't learn to dance overnight. You don't learn to speak another language overnight. You don't get a college degree overnight. You just got to really get them in their mind that, listen, learn the process of doing this. Fall in love with getting better every day, 1% over a year. And just understand that 3-4 years from now, your life is going to be incredibly different. So you and I believe so much in this, Justin, that we know that if people would just make a commitment to personal development, that they would, even if they didn't do marketing, they're going to get incredible promotions at their jobs. They're going to get better jobs. They're going to get, I know people that have doubled their income and not done network marketing anymore just from the personal development they learned. Because it brings it back to Jim Rohn's whole thing is they're more valuable. They're more valuable. They got better communication. They understand personalities. They got better confidence, better posture. Man, that in this job market would be worth the price of getting involved. Just like Robert Kiyosaki said, it's like, it's amazing. So those are some of the key things in launching a business, getting them to know that they can do this.
Absolutely. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, the viewers out there, I hope you really, really took notes on that. Robert just basically broke it down, to keep it simple, eyeballs on the presentation and keep things duplicatable. Hey, listen, how you got started. That's how I'm going to teach the newest person to get started. And I like to touch back on with the chicken list. And I used to call it, write down all of the A players that the most successful people that and, put them at the top of that list to call, because we can all agree business owners, motivated, successful entrepreneurs and individuals are always open to an opportunity. So those are the first ones that you want to put down there. They're always looking to check something out because that's why they got to where they are today at being successful, and that's how I was taught when I first came in this, a little over 4 years ago. And a lot of people are, don't really like, they say, well, I'm tired of doing home events or tired of doing belly to belly or one-on-ones, but, can we agree that's how this industry got to $160 billion, from doing the one-on-ones and connecting with people. But now, we have other ways to do that. And, through online, and now we have, through the offline methods. And now we have the new online social media era where we can, build relationships and, build an international business through social media. But I want to talk to you just, before we move on to the next question. You talked about momentum, Robert. And, when you hit that momentum stages, within your team and organization, and it's really, really pumping and pumping and pumping, do you, as a leader, as a leader of that team, Robert, do you just, I just want to know, I'm not even going to try to answer it, but what do you do? Do you just fall back and say, listen, you're going to start training now? Or what did you do on your way to that first million when you had that momentum cranking and people rocking? Were you more focused on helping the newest person going on the bottom of that leg and working with every single newest person that came in and making sure they got the right training and the right, 24-hour documents to what they should do to launch their business? Can you just share? I would love to hear what you did when you had that momentum cranking and what your basic, focus was to keep that momentum rocking.
Yeah, when momentum starts to hit, it's really important to really work with the leader. I always tell people that, again, my mentor, Big Al Schroeder, is a guy that is one of the still my favorites. Don Fela. When I got involved, 27 years ago, I had to seek out the Yodas of the industry, right? And the whole thing that always was talked about is you did not duplicate in your business unless you had someone that could teach someone to recruit someone. So it wasn't bringing someone in front level. Another thing that my mentors taught me, which was powerful, is if I'm working with you, Justin, my goal is to get you to an income where you can't quit. And then secondly, to make sure that I worked with you to get somebody underneath you that was making an income where they couldn't go back and get a job. So you got to stay in momentum longer than a lot of people think you do. And I always say this to leaders, Justin, and when I say it to them, it sort of throws them back. I go, listen, if I were going to grab your phone right now and go through your whole address book, can you give me one individual inside your address book that's making $10,000 a month and will give you credit for helping them get there? See, so the leaders that I know that are always around that 10, 15, they're always around the 10, 15, $20,000 mark. They've never learned the art of making sure that someone in their group not only gets to their level, but someone underneath them to get to their level. So absolutely. So the deal is like, oh, okay, so I got Justin to $3,000 a month. I got him to $4,000 a month. I need to find another leg. I was taught that you better make sure you work with Justin to get to 10 to 15, get someone underneath him that goes to 10 to 15, get his check to 30 before you move on. I'd rather have one solid, and a lot of people might not know this because I've been in the industry for 27 years. You got one leg that's producing $200,000 a month in volume. You're not working for anybody ever again. You get two, you're mid six figures. You're 250,000, 300,000. You get three, you're over $1 million. So a lot of people don't understand what I just shared with you, Justin, because they've never had three pumping legs ever in their career. They're still trying to figure out how to get one. And I just believe that, have you ever heard this phrase, work where you're deserved, not where you're needed?
Absolutely.
If I were to give you some wisdom about that phrase, is once you find someone that's putting in as much effort as you are, you should be working with that person until they get to where it's there. I don't know why we have a tendency of believing that once we get someone that starts figuring it out, then we abandon them. You know what I mean? And it's not done on purpose. It's human nature. You want to help people that need this. Oh, Justin, I got my brother-in-law. This guy can't do anything. He needs this. And I got a couple of friends that need this. No, you want to find people that don't need this, that want to go from six figures to 200,000.
Right. Absolutely. I cannot agree with you more.
Yeah, it's something that I've unfortunately fell into where I didn't stay with the leader long enough. And then that leader's learning their new skills with another company. And you're no longer, that was in my beginning stages. It's like, yeah, it's funny.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. You just really hit it right there. you know, who would you rather give your time to? Someone who's out there grinding and grinding and grinding, and, you know, wanting to work, or like you said, you know, work with your brother-in-law, your nephew, your cousins, your aunts. You know, I mean, you have to get that person to your level so you can keep that momentum going. And you're right. You know, guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any idea what this industry is about, when Robert talked about when you have 3 legs pumping volume, it's crazy. And that feeling, you're going to get there. You're going to get there because you're going to keep doing the things, you know, that your mentor's teaching you to do, the things that you came on board with, you know, to create success. If you haven't created the success that you're looking for, you know, stay plugged in the trainings, because the person who stays plugged in the most and the long enough will get to those, you know, points in their team and in their current company. You know, it might not even be the company you're involved in. You know, 3 years down the road, you might find a company and you just go gangbusters with. You know, you never know what this industry brings to you. But all I do know is if that you got to stay plugged in. The only way you fail is if you quit. Great points on that, Robert. Absolutely powerful. My next question here is also interesting. You know, going back from, you know, I was talking with you before, you know, we went live here where I first got started in this industry. I was, you know, sticking to the basics. You know, it was kind of an old school, you know, way to launch your business, you know, belly to belly, you know, home events after home events after home events. You know, what we used to call was PBR, was a private business reception. You know, what is your favorite strategy right now, Robert, you know, to build? Do you still stick with the old school method, or you kind of mix it up with the online method? And what could you say to the newest affiliate that would come on board? You know, would you try to tell them to build online, or would you start them off as, you know, going the old school way? You know, you're just basic. Right. It's just your opinion on your offline and offline methods, Robert.
Yeah. Well, this is a great question. And I want to even preference this answer with, if you're working with somebody and you're getting results, continue to do that. Now, I was showing different basics, Justin. I was showing way different basics. One, my mentor did not teach me how to do PBRs or home-based businesses. He never showed me how to do 3-ways, and he didn't show me how to do weekly meetings. So that ought to really shake you, because we were taught one-on-ones. It was all we did. And so the concept was simply this. The concept is that if I'm meeting you in the streets, and understand the reason that we did that, and then I'll bring it into the 21st century here very quickly, is I was meeting people in the street because there wasn't any internet, there wasn't any cell phone. Okay, so my goal was to get face to face with people, and I got so good at it because I knew that I needed to, that I would go out from 11:30 to 1:30 and go to like a big food mart in a mall, and I would get 60, 70 names in 2 hours.
Wow.
And it was simply asking them, listen, could you do me a huge personal favor? I'm helping this guy expand his company. His name is Justin. He's a very successful individual, and we're running ads in newspapers and magazines and can't find the quality people that we need. Who do you know? So that was what I did to gather my names, right? Mm-hmm. After that, it was setting an appointment to get them to watch a VHS tape. So now let's move this into the 21st century. I'm going to say a couple of statements that will just really bring it down to what I know the basics to be. Is it doesn't make a difference what you're marketing if it's a sham wow, and why I show the Snuggie commercial is you don't know where people are in their lives. So the person that gets the people to watch an effective presentation the most. Now, here's where I get into a funny thing with people. If you look at the Snuggie commercial, is it effective presentation? Believe it or not, I believe that most people that would watch that Snuggie commercial, 9 out of 10 would say that it's hokey, that it's stupid, it's dumb, you know, all these things. So there's always these people out there that are debating whether or not it's an effective presentation. But the basic I was taught is get people to watch the video. That was the only basic. It was never whether that was a live person at a hotel meeting or at an office space or at a home. So there's a little bit of craziness that I get with people. I know that you were at the GoPro event where you and I met and got the talk. Well, Eric Worre did a 6-figure summit with people that made 6 figures plus. There was 400 people in that room. And there was some wild stuff discussed in that room. And one of them was, how many people believe that a private business reception, a home meeting, is duplicatable? And a majority of the people in the room raised their hands and said, it is not a duplicatable method, and they're not doing it. So the reason why is, let me just say really quickly without getting people to go, oh, it's crazy, because I'll get a replacement very, very quick, is that a majority of the people that you're hitting in this day and age might not want to be able to have you come to their home. Their spouse is not supportive. They're living with roommates that are stoners. What about people that are in college campuses? There's, people that are broke. There's so many homes that people are not going to be able, hey, I'll do a home meeting. No, a majority of the people don't want you in their home.
Right.
So it's sort of a weirdness there. Secondly, is it sometimes sets people up for a failure. So now we call 20 people and one shows. And I just drove 2 hours. Anyway, I won't keep beating it up. But the whole point is that I know this. This is what I say to people versus old school versus new school. Is if you have an effective presentation that people can watch online and they get it, they go, whoa, this makes sense. 2, they get it. 3, they'll send that video to other people.
Right.
Then my deal is does it make a difference if they watch that video in a home, in a hotel room? Well, what makes the difference where you're seeing that video?
Right. Absolutely. And, I just actually did a kind of a training on this, about launching, a home event, or like I said, like I even mentioned in there, Robert, if some people, don't have a home, or they might be embarrassed, or, some people might even live out of their car, or with their grandparents. So if you can't launch a home event, I say use, go to a local coffee shop, meet with a couple people like you're talking about one-on-one, share with them, the overview sheet, or have them watch a simple video, or, even do a one-on-one, and we can use the technology with a Google Hangout, get somebody on there. But the basic thing is, and the number one thing is, yes, I do build a lot of relationships, and, people, we talk about, building relationships. That's great. But it all comes down to how many eyeballs can you get to the opportunity, and if you have a system that you can just send them through a website, a capture page, or if you have something that, your team, your company has a great tool, that you have a great presentation. It's all about how many presentations, if you look at it this way, all the viewers out there, if you look right back right now, the last 7 days, can you remember how many people that you got to your presentation? If you can't think of anybody, then you have a little bit of work to do. You know what I mean? So right. Like, Robert, it is right. Some people can do a home event. Like myself, I was a very reputable individual. My family's reputable here in my hometown. I can get in front of a group of people, but, sometimes that can't be duplicatable. And, you really touched it there where, some people don't have homes, and some people go out there and they rent a Hilton hotel room or a big conference room. And that person that comes in there to take a look at the opportunity, and he's looking around and he's thinking, I really would love to get started, but I can't do what that guy did. You know what I mean? I don't have the income to go rent that. I don't know Joe Schmo from down the street who owns a Hilton that will let me borrow that room. So, you kind of give it to, we kind of let it up. I do personally let it up to that individual. How do how can we get in front of your contacts? How many people can we get in front of the presentation? If you feel comfortable in inviting people over to your house, that's great. But you have to remember, for you to get a lot of people there, you got to have a lot of confirmations, because only 50% will show up. And I know exactly where you're coming from, Robert, because I learned that from my first company that I was involved in. People were having home events. Yeah, the first 1 or 2 was, a few people there. But when you have that person keep doing home event after home event after home event, and nobody's showing up, they're not getting people on the 72-hour or the confirmation calls, and they're like, man, Justin, I don't know which way to go. And that could really, shoot your team right in the legs and cut out underneath you, because now that person's discouraged. Now they're thinking, man, this business is not for me, and it really could, hurt you in a really bad way. So, there's just so many options where you could just give to the newest affiliate how, which is the best way for you to get the most people in front of that presentation.
And here's where people, some of you have heard let's say the old schoolers, just to say that. If people are saying, the old schoolers are saying that new school doesn't work, here's why they're right. It doesn't work. People totally forget that you got to build a rapport. People don't, I don't expect people to watch a video because I sent a link and they don't know me, so I'm sending it on their email or I'm posting it on their wall. That's dumb. So you want to build a rapport so people get to know, like, and trust you. And see, a majority of the people do not want to take those extra steps to introduce themselves to someone online. I do a reciprocity thing of building a rapport and giving them something, building a relationship before I send them a video. See, now, if you don't do these steps, then guess what? Done. Another one is, once someone does watch the video and ends up being a lead in your back office, you won't call them. You won't introduce them. You won't be a tour guide. You won't be the person that points, guide, and direct them to the right information. Most of the people that I train, the number one thing that people get is, I can't believe someone called me back. Because they look at online and everyone's just spamming or pushing traffic toward a link. And then some people get in and then they're never ever told what to do. So the offliners get to beat up the onliners because no one's doing the online correct.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the online correct. We're setting up people before we send them the videos. We're talking to them after they watch the videos. I got people that are actually watching or being online with them as they're watching the video.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you got to learn from someone that's good online how to do the system online. Just don't discard it because of the old schooler saying, hey, I can guarantee you that the old schooler is getting people in front of an effective presentation. The new schooler is getting people in front of an effective presentation. There's the basic.
It is, Robert. You are so, it's so right. Basically now, what would you say, for the, basically you answered that question, but back to what you were saying about building relationships. And that's one thing we have to do is we have to build that form, just like you're taught to build form out and face-to-face, you can also do that through social media.
Wow.
Hey, Robert, how are you? It's great to connect with you. I see we have a few friends in common. Where are you from? It's just like talking to somebody that you meet on vacation somewhere, but you're doing it through a message group, and that person's going to come back and say, hey, great to connect with you, Justin. Wow, I do see we have a lot of the same interests. I'm from out here in Montana. Where are you from, Justin? And that's how you just build that rapport back and forth, back and forth. Don't spam them with the opportunity, Robert, like you said. Right. Don't sit there and say, hey, Robert, where are you from? Oh, Montana. Oh, great. Well, hey, listen, here's my website. I got to go check it out. You'll never hear it from that person again. But you are right. You build that rapport until it gets to the point you might not. I was always taught as well as I listened to a lot of my favorite mentors and industry trainers like yourself, Robert, online, where you really don't want to show them your capture page or your opportunity page the first conversation. You want to build that rapport. Down the road, you can say, hey, listen, I got to go right now, but hey, it was great connecting with you, Robert. I really look forward to speaking with you here in the near future, but I have to hop on a team call right now, so let's connect maybe later on this week. And later on that week, you want to keep a note of that individual that you've spoken with, and I'm going to hit you back up, Robert. Hey, Robert, remember me? We had a great chat this week. How's everything going? And that's just going to build that rapport, Robert, and I'll let you come in on that as well.
Yeah, the other thing that I teach people to do is you want to find people through mutual groups and mutual pages that you have in common. When I'm first trying to teach someone to build rapport with someone, why not talk about something that you both have a lot in common with? So if you like NASCAR, you like a certain band or genre music, or, you know, maybe you come from a certain college or school or whatever, you want to be able to build a rapport. And the thing that I do all the time is reciprocity. You know, people don't care what you know unless they know that you care. And so I got my favorite audios and videos that I'll share with people. And I'll just say, hey, listen, this will really help you as you learn. And this is one of my favorite books or favorite audios. And I'll share that with them. They're going like, my God, I'm not even doing anything with you. And so my whole thing is teaching people how to give. And the more you give, then they're like, wow, well, I'd like to find out what else you have. And that's what I love doing. You know, it's like I still to this day, with hundreds of thousands of people on all my social media platforms, I still wish people a happy birthday. I give them gifts. I build a rapport with them. And I'm like the kind of guy now that you almost have to ask me to send my link. You know, it's like, well, what do you do? Can you send me what you're doing? Oh, okay. You know what I mean? Where other people are just the
yeah, sure, I'll get it to you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but yeah, Robert, I know we're going here over an hour, and this is a phenomenal training here, just learning from you. But I just have a couple more here.
Okay, no problem.
I don't want to hold you up either. I know I don't want to keep you going because you got the big teams and the millionaires to work with to keep producing millionaires.
Well, I love you reaching out, and I know people are going to get value from this. So
awesome. Well, listen, here's another question. Basically, when your team, gets in a slump, Robert, as you were going through to that success that you reached your goals in the beginning, when your teams were having that momentum and then died down, and some of your leaders were saying, Robert, we don't know where to pick up. Well, we hit a brick wall here. Where did you direct those individuals to go? Did you direct them to go back to doing, what they did when they first started the business, how they got that momentum in the first place? Or did you kind of, energize their spirits doing something different? What happened there?
Yeah, I definitely will. I'll give you two answers to that. When a person loses their vision, their passion, their purpose, it's always because they focus on people that don't want to participate in their own rescue. That's the number one killer of any entrepreneur, is when they didn't realize that all of a sudden they're expecting people in their group to do something. They're not. So you got to get them refocused. That's why I love people to share with me their perfect days. I tell people, when I get to know them, I want to know what their perfect days are. I want to know what their goals, their vision, their dreams are, because I'm going to bring that back to them and go, okay, so these people basically don't want to help you with your goal, but you want to help them and they don't want to participate in the rescue. So I then get them focused on what their reason why is, and then go back and help them go after brand new people. And the second part of that question is, I'm usually doing it with a brand new person. I'm leading by example. The best people out there always talk about your level of enthusiasm and your excitement is always based on the last couple of people that you brought in. Well, when people go, well, I haven't brought in someone in a long time, but I'm still trying to get Mary and Jim and Greg and Justin to get going. If they would just do something, if they would just
worse, right?
Yeah. So that's what I do. And I really work a lot on mindset with my people. My mentor really beat me up with mindset, knowing that if I was thinking the wrong things and worrying and not focusing on the future and thinking about the past or thinking about how bad my day was, man, mental state is just so powerful. So helping people with I am statements, helping them, my favorite book is The World's Greatest Miracle by Og Mandino. I tell people to read the God Memorandum, every day for 30 days. I think it says more in there. But for people that have problems with self-confidence and stuff, and any one of you that are watching this, you can have Justin reach out to me. I'll get the link for you for all that free stuff. It's right on my Facebook page. I just know if people can change their thoughts, they change who they are, they change their heart, They change their words, their actions change. Bingo.
Absolutely. And Robert, I want to touch base as well. Before we wrap this up here, when you were talking about personal growth and mindset, and when I hit some roadblocks in the beginning as well, my mentor came to me and says, Justin, you got to work on yourself, work on personal growth. And, to me, I was like, why would reading a book help me get to where I need to be? It never made sense to me. You're like, so you're telling me in order to create six figures, I got to read a book. I mean, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? So as I was, driving
That's the last thing I need right now.
Yeah. So as I was, had that mindset, I'm like, I'm not going to read a book. I never read in college. I didn't read in high school. Why would I start now? But when you do start plugging your mind into personal growth, into personal development, audios, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Eric Worre, yourself, Robert, here in your, GoPro story with you and Eric Worre sitting there. When you can listen to those things on a daily basis and getting your mind in the right position, it does help you get that mentality, because it puts you in a position to take your team to that success level that you want them to become. You know what I mean? So if you can't lead the way and you can't work on yourself, how can you teach somebody else to get to that level? And it all starts with yourself. Like you said, you have to wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and you be like, I'm going to do great today. What am I going to do? Who am I going to help? I'm going to help somebody. It's not all about me. It's about who can I help today? And, once you do that and plug into that mindset and have that personal development, it really does change the game. And I really couldn't get that in my mind in the beginning of my career, because I was like, you mean to tell me if I read these 3 books, I'm going to go to 7 figures? All right. You know what I mean? But it really does get you to being the person who you really know you can be. It brings that out of it.
I still listen to audios all the time. My favorite is The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. I'll send you the link. But because the book was written 20 or 30 years before Think and Grow Rich. In fact, Andrew Carnegie read that book to become the wealthiest person on the planet. And the reason that he hired Napoleon Hill to do Think and Grow Rich was to prove the principles of The Science of Getting Rich. And for people that want to know, that's where Bob Proctor's all training came from. And Susan, Byrne, the person that wrote the movie, made the movie The Secret. It was based off the book, The Science of Getting Rich. And so if I'll send you that link when I get done. It's still my favorite.
Awesome.
So I'm plug in all the time. So if you're watching this video, reach out to Justin and say, I want that link that Robert sent to you.
Awesome. Well, Robert, last question, and we'll get going here. If you could do it all over again, if you could start all over again, where do you think and how do you think you would kick everything off? Would you do the things the same, or for what you know now and taking it back to when you were first introduced to network marketing, what do you think you would do differently than you would back when you first got started?
Well, with everything that I know now, I would have dreamt bigger and I would have done more and I would have asked for help more. The only reason that instead of making 46 million, I could have easily made 460 million is because of me getting off track, me not staying tapped into people that knew more than me, and sort of thinking I got it. And so the other things are because of self-confidence and self-belief issues, I didn't think that I could do more than I was, so I can remember thinking, God, if I make 60 grand, that would be awesome, and for those of you that really want to know how you adjust your mindset to making tens of millions of dollars. I heard someone at the Association of Network Marketing Professionals introduce me as a 9-figure earner. And I was like, wow, it's like, that was sort of, a neat little click for me, but one of the things that you do it based off your giving. So, Bill Austin is a guy that owns the Starkey Foundation. He gives away $110 million a year to charity. So you just start hanging around people that make you look like you're doing nothing. You stop being that little fish. I mean, that big fish in a small pond, and you throw yourself around people that go, wow, you make $3 million a year. Like, how do you live on that? I mean, it's like,
yeah, well, I go to McDonald's and yeah. Phenomenal.
Because the guys that I hang around now, the amount of money that they give, oh, it's just staggering to me. It's totally staggering to me. And that's where they get the passion. You know, I'll say this in closing, because if you really understand people like Bill Gates, you know, Warren Buffett, you know, they just put together this billionaires club. And there's 125 people now on this billionaire club. Can you imagine getting a call from Warren Buffett and Bill Gates? And the first thing you got to be is you got to be a liquid billionaire. And secondly, you got to make a dedication and a commitment to give over 50% of all your net worth away to charity. So now, you know, Bill Gates will be known as Microsoft. But when we pass, Bill Gates is going to be known for eradicating disease all over the world. I mean, he's so past Microsoft that it's like, it's ridiculous. But if you go to the Gates Foundation, I think gatefoundation.org, I think he's given over $74 billion away to charity.
Wow.
See, and people don't even know what these billionaires are doing anymore. So if you really think that money is the root of all evil, you got to really start studying these guys. I mean, Bill Gates did such an incredible event that when Warren Buffett's wife died, see, his wife kept saying, you know, we should do some stuff. We should do some stuff. We should do some stuff. And he said, just another year, another year. Well, she all of a sudden got sick and died. And when she died, it messed up Warren Buffett so much that he signed over $37 billion to Bill Gates.
Wow.
Just $37 billion. Here, you followed and went out and helped humanity. And now he made a commitment with Bill Gates to go after these kids. You know, the guy that started Snapchat, you know, he's 23 years old, just became a billionaire. Mark Zuckerberg has been a billionaire for 7 years now. His company just went by Walmart. So for those of you that are sort of stuck in the mentality that this is the worst time that we could be alive, it's the opposite. You're hanging around the wrong frickin' people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's well said. Or hit that nail right on the head, because if people are sitting there thinking, oh man, you know, there's no opportunity out there, and there's not this and there's more opportunity out there now if you take action and if you do the things that others are doing to create that opportunity, to create things that, you know, that are there, you know, create the, you know, hop in the right vehicle and throw it in drive and just keep going, you know, and it's all out there for us. We just have to take advantage of it. And Robert, thank you so much for this. Viewers out there, if you don't follow Robert Hollis on one of my favorite applications right now, Periscope, you know, he always shares tips throughout the week, throughout the days. Follow Robert, you know, and you know, it's a great application for you to go on there and just listen to what he says, take notes, ask him questions. It's a great application. Follow us all. Let's all connect on Periscope, social media, whatever it is. Robert Hollis, thank you for taking an hour and 15 minutes of your time, of your busy schedule, to hop on here with me and, you know, share with the world here, you know, what it took for you to overcome your objections, what it took for you to get around your roadblocks, and the tools that you got and taken advantage of to get you to where you are today. We really appreciate it. We all thank you so much here for what you're doing, not only for, you know, for the industry, but what you're doing for every other, you know, affiliate in this entire world of how they can go out and create a residual income, you know, with this network marketing industry. You know, you're a true champion. And I'm so happy that we met, you know, over almost 2 years now, a little over a year ago, actually, at the GoPro event. You're doing phenomenal things and helping so many people. You know, I cannot thank you more than enough to take your time to hop on here.
Well, Justin, I really appreciate you getting me on here too. And you know, my closing statement I'd love to say to everyone is all this time that we spent on this hangout, if one individual while they were listening to Justin and I went, you know what? These guys are not all that a bag of chips. If they can do it, I can do it. And I know that sounds condescending in a way and sort of downplay, but I can remember like it was yesterday, 27 years ago, sitting in the back of the room watching my mentor do his best effective presentation. And his hair was all messed up and his teeth weren't straight and he didn't have any jewelry on. And you know, the guy's worth over $1 billion today. And I was just looking at him and going, wow. And so you can do this. You can do this. Entrepreneurship is very simply is learning to tell your story and helping other people find the wisdom and information that they need in life to become better people. There's no nobler position better than helping someone else learn how to help other people be better. So Justin, I wouldn't be doing this if you didn't reach out to me. So kudos to you. I admire you. A lot of people are scared of sharing their teams with other leaders. I don't know how you can be successful without doing it. So thank you very much for your courage. I'm looking forward to working with you in the future. So take care and God bless.
All right. Thank you, Robert. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your night. Hope you got a lot of notes out there, and make sure you put them to action, everyone. So take care, and looking forward to maybe seeing you on the next Chalk Talk session.